You're scrolling your feed or watching an interview. You see him, the entrepreneur, the artist, the leader you admire, and you feel that familiar pang. It's a strange cocktail of emotions, genuine awe mixed with a quiet, painful envy. Your mind supplies the usual explanation. He's a natural. He's just built different. He has a gift that I don't. You believe you are admiring his greatness, but that feeling is not admiration. It is a form of psychological homesickness. The powerful qualities you see in him are not his. They are a direct reflection of the superpowers you are forced to lock away inside yourself. You aren't seeing another man's genius. You are seeing the ghost of your own. To understand this, you must first accept a fundamental law of the psyche. You do not see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. Your internal reality dictates your external perception. We have spoken before about the negative shadow, the parts of ourselves we deem unacceptable and therefore repress. You know the mechanism, the traits that trigger an unreasonable amount of irritation in you often point directly to your own disowned flaws. The lazy coworker who infuriates you may be a mirror for your own repressed indolence. Now, here is the logical step you have not yet taken. The psyche is a symmetrical system. If projection works for our darkest flaws, it must also work for our brightest virtues. The same mechanism that creates irrational contempt also creates irrational idealization. That intense, magnetic, almost obsessive admiration you feel for your idol, it is the exact same process, working in reverse. It is the projection of your golden shadow. This forces a radical reframing. The external judgment you cast upon your idol, he has unshakable confidence, is a mask for a painful internal confession. I have disowned my own confidence. He is not the source of the light. He is just the mirror reflecting the sun that is buried inside your own chest. So why does this happen? Why would we ever discard our own greatest strengths? To understand, we must use a metaphor, the king in exile. Every man is born with a sovereign king inside him. This is the archetype of his highest potential, his ambition, his righteous anger, his unique creative fire, his capacity to lead. But in childhood, this king is often seen as a threat. When you expressed your ambition, you were told, "Don't be so bossy." When you showed your confidence, you were told, "Don't show off." When you followed your creative spark, you were told, "Get your head out of the clouds and be realistic." To maintain love and social belonging, you made a logical choice. You banished that powerful king from the kingdom of your own consciousness. I spent years of my life as a peasant in my own kingdom, convinced the throne was meant for someone else. You learned to live as a commoner, forgetting you ever had a claim to the crown. Now, you can only recognize your exiled king when you see his royal reflection in the men you call your heroes. To put it in more practical terms, think of it like a psychological bank account. You are born with $1 million of psychological capital, your potential. But your early life conditions you to believe your account balance is zero. Believing you are poor, you take all your assets, your confidence, your creativity, your ambition, and you deposit them into the accounts of others. You project them. You then spend your life admiring the wealth of these people, feeling broke and envious, never realizing you're just looking at your own money in someone else's bank. The work, then, is not about earning new psychological wealth. It is about initiating a simple, logical transfer of assets back to their rightful owner, you. This reclamation is not a fantasy. It is a practical, three-step process of logical integration. Step 1. Identify the projections. You must first create a map to your own exiled treasure. Take out a journal. List 3 to 5 people you genuinely and intensely admire. For each person, write down the specific, tangible qualities that captivate you. Do not write, "He's a genius." Write, "His ability to generate innovative ideas without fear of failure." Be precise. The rationale. This is an act of pure data collection. That list of qualities is not a description of them. It is an itemized inventory of the most valuable parts of yourself that you have given away. You cannot reclaim what you have not first identified. Step 2. Find the counter-evidence. Take one quality from your list, for example, unshakable self-belief. Now, act as a detective in your own past. Your mission is to find one single, forgotten piece of evidence where you embodied that exact trait, even for a moment. A time in high school you defended an unpopular opinion. A project at work you saw through to the end despite doubts. A small personal risk you took that paid off. Find just one example. The rationale. Your psyche banished the king based on the evidence that he was unwelcome. To reverse his exile, you must present new, countervailing evidence. A single data point proves the quality is not foreign to you. It is native. This is the first crack in the illusion that you don't have what it takes. Step 3. Small-scale embodiment. This is the most critical step. Take that same quality and perform one small-scale, low-stakes action that embodies it within the next 48 hours. If the quality is creative risk-taking, you do not quit your job to become a novelist. You share one unconventional idea in a team meeting. You write one page of a story. You sketch one design. The action must be small enough to be almost guaranteed to be completed. The rationale. Integration is not an intellectual exercise. It is an act of doing. A single, real-world action creates a powerful feedback loop. The action generates new evidence, which strengthens your ownership of the trait, which in turn makes the next, slightly larger action easier to take. This is how you methodically transfer your assets back into your own account. As you do this work, you will not experience a sudden explosion of enlightenment. The transformation is quieter, more grounded. The first thing you will notice is that your idols become human again. The magical, luminous aura around them begins to fade. You can still appreciate their skill and accomplishments, but it is no longer accompanied by that painful sting of inadequacy. The envy dissolves because you recognize you're both drawing from the same universal well of potential. The center of gravity for your own power will move from out there to in here. The desperate search for a hero to emulate is replaced by the quiet, consistent work of cultivating the hero within. You will realize that the goal was never to put your exiled king back on a solitary throne. The goal is to realize that the throne is empty. It is, in fact, a council table. You are simply inviting these powerful, confident, and creative parts of yourself back into the room to take their seat at the table and contribute to the sovereign leadership of your own life. You stop being a peasant who admires other kings. You start the lifelong work of becoming the quiet ruler of your own integrated inner world.